Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Music and Beyond. I'm Ernie Crazy Eyes. Today I have Nigel from CARSEX. How's it going, man?
Hey, good man. How are you?
I'm good, man, and I really love the music. I've been listening to it, and it's definitely raw and so different than what I was expecting.
Yeah. We try to keep it definitely like that. Obviously in the beginning it was a little bit more raw. We've been around for like over 8 years now, so yeah, this new record is definitely. We still we're working with the same producer that we did for the last one, so it's still got the same feel, which is great. But he kind of understands our feel and everything, so that's kind of why we went with him. It's Steve Evans, who's done quite a bunch of stuff with like Dillinger Escape Plan, etc. So yeah, we really dig him.
Nice, and I really enjoy the music. I've been listening to it, and I love, and what you said right there is like what I felt when listening to the music, because from listening to your earlier stuff a few years ago to Crooked Canvas, like it definitely has. You guys have definitely found y'all's sound, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. There's a certain charm to the earlier stuff. I think, like for me personally, probably just like sentimentally, but yeah, that the first little EP that we put out, we basically recorded most of it just at one of our friends' houses, and like recorded the vocals in his bedroom and stuff, and it's pretty much like naturally escalated from there to where now we're in like obviously a big pro studio, which is nice with
Yeah.
somebody that totally gets our sound. So super lucky for that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man, and I'm sure it's a huge change, but hey, that's music, right?
Right, for sure.
And congratulations on your new release single, Crooked Canvas. Can you share the inspiration behind the track and what the title signifies?
I basically like Crooked Canvas is mostly about like, you know, society's normals, kind of what you're expected to be. A lot of, stuff like religion and corporations, everything like that, politics, kind of just trying to funnel people into this, wool over their eyes. And it's basically just about our distaste for it. Yeah, I mean, and the title Crooked Canvas, it just kind of came from the beginning part, which is like kind of spoken word. It's just like poetic to me in a sense, I guess.
Nah, and honestly, it's perfect because it's like a drawn picture to a Photoshop picture. Like of course
Right.
one is always gonna look better because it's Photoshop. So I that's beautiful, man. And from how the world is now, like I can totally understand your 2020 EP, because you went wild with lyrics on that EP, and I'm just like, wow, like why is he saying that? But now that you say that, I'm like, hell yeah, dude, fight the power.
Right. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the way that we've like kind of developed over the years has like kind of funneled us into definitely like a unique style, I think. But it's easier musically and lyrically, I feel, as we've matured to get out like our message and kind of what we're going for there. I feel like the record that's coming out, a lot of it is just like even between now and 2020, between that time when we released that, there's so much that's happened in the world, and it's kind of just an expression of that, like in a little bit more detail, almost like a continuation of, but
Yeah, I'm totally gonna go back and re-listen and in order so I can just take a ride, because that's what I've been doing since I've been studying you guys for this interview is like listening to your music, and I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like this is just like you said, a continuation, and I love that it is because like music is just one huge story. I feel.
Right. Yeah. It definitely felt natural for us. I mean, we didn't really have to try at all. I mean, obviously, obviously you do, but everything just came so like naturally to us for this record. Because I mean, after being together for so long, we've like kind of found exactly what our sound is and who we are as a band all together, So that's a really good feeling for sure.
Yeah. And your sound is very distinctively rock and roll. How do you describe your music to someone who hasn't heard it before, and what are some of your major musical influences?
Um, I always find it kind of difficult to squirrel our genre into one specific thing. Usually we just go off of what we've heard people tell us nowadays. But I mean, for me, it's just rock and roll. We have like all of us have so many different influences that it just kind of pools together and comes out as our own sound. But we like a huge variety of things like Zeke is one. We like some stony stuff like desert stuff, Queens of the Stone Age. Personally for me, I was grown up on LA punk and hardcore, so obviously Black Flag, Circle Jerks, Germs, X, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean it has such a wide range. It's a little bit of everything, We there was a point where we started doing a couple of our songs just kind of like jokingly as like jazz versions, and that actually almost developed into something because a couple of us really dug it. But yeah, it was just kind of So we mess around with pretty much everything. You can kind of hear like in different areas like where it's a little bit more versatile than others for sure. But as far as straightforward goes, just like rock and roll punk kind of thing going on, I guess, right?
I would so release those jazz versions of those songs if you guys still have them.
Yeah, for sure. I've always wanted to. Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. I mean, you have bands like the Bronx actually does. I don't know if you know, like what is it? Like Mariachi El Bronx or something, to where like they'll. I think that they do like mariachi versions of Bronx songs, or they, something to the tune of that. I always thought that was kind of cool. So
the only band that I know that does something like that is a Piñata Protest, and what they do is make like a Spanish song like heavy.
Right.
So
yeah,
hell yeah, dude.
I think our bassist Jeremy has showed us that band. They definitely sound familiar. But yeah, that's always. I mean, it's a really fun way to mix it up, right? Like.
Yeah, I mean it's like a cover almost.
Right. Totally. So yeah, maybe someday we'll have a smooth jazz version of some CARSEX music.
I would buy that 3 times. And Long Beach has a huge musical history.
Oh
Long Beach,
for sure.
throw it up. Fucking great, man. How has the local scene influenced your music and your journey as a band?
That's a good question. I mean, Long Beach is so like rich in its music scene even still. And it's really just a great sense of community for me. It's really healthy. It ranges like from so many different things, so many different inspirations and stuff. But everybody that is involved in the scene, there's just kind of this like sense of tightness and community that I never really experienced in any other kind of music scene. It's really a special city to be able to hail from, and we really appreciate it. I mean, all of our homie bands are totally awesome, and everybody just really enjoys it. You know, you can just tell that it's something extremely special, which we're very fortunate for sure. We like to play everywhere around the Southland. You know, Riverside County, San Diego, you know, LA, Orange County, all that kind of stuff. We're really trying to book like a short, like week to week and a half tour to celebrate the release of the record.
Oh yeah.
We're still kind of working on that, but we were kind of talking about like either a West Coast thing or along the South, maybe to Nashville or something like that. But that's still in the works. So.
Well, if you come to Texas, I'll buy my ticket right now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And can you walk us through the creative process for Crooked Canvas? How did the song come together from the initial idea to the final recording?
You know, I think that it was pretty much just like usually our formula that typically will work out is I think that Shane had that riff at the very beginning when it's just me doing the spoken word stuff. And I've been kind of incorporating that kind of spoken word a little bit more through the years lyrically. And so it kind of just started out as that intro. And yeah, as far as I know, like him and Jolly, our other guitarist, kind of riffed out that punching, you know, like right when it kicks into gear. And we just kind of went off that. And usually I'll come up with like a vocal pattern and just kind of marble and garble until I come up with something that I like, and the lyrics kind of just follow that. So that's usually our process. Sometimes it's a little bit different, but you know, I would say that's our most kind of used formula.
That's so sick, man. And what challenges do you guys face during the production of Crooked Canvas, and how do you guys overcome them?
You know, honestly, I gotta say for this record, it was a very, very smooth process. Like I said, we brought in Steve Evitz, who we've worked with before, and it was just like it was super comfortable. You know, everybody just knew exactly where we were musically at the time, and it was just like the whole thing just vibed really well. We recorded it down in Orange County, and yeah, I mean, the whole thing was just really smooth. I think that any potential issues that came up were just like your typical, retrying and just like your average kind of recording studio situation, overdubs, stuff like that. So just really like we really took our time with it and just kind of, you know, dialed it in. So yeah, I don't think that I can really come up with anything that I thought was like much of a challenge for this record, honestly.
Yeah, and honestly, I love the sound because, you know, like when you watch a movie and like there's like maybe a band in the background and it's like very punkish and very rock and roll. Like I get like I start getting movie scenes played in my brain, and I'm just like, dude, this is so freaking cool. Like I love this.
Right. Yeah. I've always wanted to be on a soundtrack, so hopefully that you know, hopefully
that would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I just love that it's 2024 and we can still get the same music that we did back in the early 80s or late 80s and early 90s.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
And your music often deals with deep and complex themes. What message do you hope listeners take away from your music and Crooked Canvas as a whole?
I think that the message is more for a sense of camaraderie, and people of similar thinking, or you know, just something to relate to when you're told one thing and think another way, and sometimes it just kind of comes together, and that sense of relatability just kind of comes through. But yeah, I mean, just the whole the norm, and everything that's typically expected of people, in all aspects of life and like normal society, and not feeling like you're part of that, has always been kind of our frame of mind. So to allow comfort and relatability, I guess.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah.
And live performances are a big part of, the rock and roll. Can you share a memorable experience from one of your past shows that makes performing live special for CARSEX?
Yeah, we I feel like so much of our band, even, from the beginning, we've very much been a live band. And everything that comes along with that, just just the feeling of being on stage and together with, your guys and with the audience, just all feeling like together, is probably the best high that you could ever get, in my opinion. I mean, it's been my biggest addiction since I can remember. So, it's just it's always a really special feeling for me. If you want like an experience that particularly came to mind when you brought that up, we were asked to play with Mondo Generator out there in the desert at the Transplants Brewing Company. Let's see, I think it wasn't last September, maybe the one before or something, but that one was really awesome because we've all been really big fans of Mondo for years and years. They've been inspirations to us, and we also played with the Obsessed for that show, which Wino fronts, and just like hanging out with those guys, and kind of like it was a stepping stone, and like it was definitely a staple for me, for sure, and I think it was for the rest of the guys, just to be on the same, like share the same stage as those guys, and yeah, just really it was incredible. We've had a couple of those, but yeah.
And of course, everybody that's gonna click on this interview or share it, I already know what you're thinking. Don't worry, I thought about it too. Where does the name CARSEX come from?
Oh, yeah. So it's actually from. We were kind of like any band. When we were in our infancy, we kind of bounced around a couple ideas, but there was a morning that I was driving, listening to just a morning segment. I think it was Heidi and Frank over there at 95.5 in LA, and they had this segment where they were talking about CARSEX, having people call in, say like what their embarrassing stories or however experiences that they've had, and typically like it just kind of popped into my head, because my sister and I specifically will kind of, for years we've gone back and forth, and we'll just kind of joke around with each other when we hear like, oh, this sounds like it would be a band name, so I just thought in my head like, and then you'll say like where they're playing, right? So it'll be like, oh, CARSEX playing the small stage at Coachella, or anything like that. So anytime we hear something like that, we still do it. We'll text each other pretty much every day, coming up with like joke bands or bands that we think sound like specific to a certain concert or genre, that kind of thing. It's kind of just like a little bit of an inside joke for us, but that's kind of what happened in my head. And then I text her that, and I was like, oh damn, that'd be kind of a cool band name. So yeah.
Dude, that's amazing, because a few years ago, I interviewed a band called Porn, and then
oh, nice.
of course later on I found out that that they were just abbreviations for the whole, because the band name was long, Pure Obsessions of Night something, or some Red Nights, Pure Obsessions of Red Nights, and I was just
Oh,
like,
okay.
you know what, like that's pretty genius. So when I saw CARSEX, I was like, dude, I need to get this guy on here.
For sure.
I
Yeah,
need to
for
continue
sure.
the trend.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, at the very least, I think that it sticks in people's heads, right? Because it's short and easy, and you know, outrageous. So yeah, it seems to work.
Yeah, I love it honestly. And
Thanks.
what's next for CARSEX? Are you guys working on any upcoming projects? I know we talked about tours, but maybe some calibrations that we can be
Um,
excited for.
you know, we're probably going to be releasing a second single with a video as well before the actual release of this record. So we're kind of in talks with that. Um, Stephen Burho, one of our good friends and the one that edited the video for Crooked Canvas. Actually, him and I were just talking earlier about what we're going to be doing as far as production for this next video. So we're right now, that's kind of what we're working on. And then we were also thinking about doing like a split, like 7-inch vinyl potentially,
Ooh,
with another band. I mean, we've got a lot of homie bands in Long Beach, so maybe something like that too. But we're just getting all of our ducks in a row before we make any hard decisions. Those are just kind of the ideas that are floating around right now. So I guess only time will tell.
that'd be sick. And is the album possibly going to be released this year or next year?
Yeah, we're looking at probably like late August. Um, Second single will probably be like early August, something like that. But I mean, yeah, we actually finished the recording on this record last August, so it's been almost a year. Um, so yeah, we've been trying to make sure that everything is in its right place before we drop it. But that's kind of the timeline that we're looking at. So
That's awesome, man. I can't wait. I'm excited for it. I'm a new fan, and I'm excited to see what you guys do. But before I let you go, I love to ask everyone that comes in this question because you never know what you're gonna get. If you were in an elevator with any musician, dead or alive, who would it be, and what would you talk about?
David Bowie, and let's see, probably David Bowie. Just talk about David Bowie. I don't know, Interstellar Travel or something, right?
That'd be wild.
Yeah.
And where can we find you guys?
I mean, we're pretty much all over socials and online. Our website's CARSEX LBC for Long Beach, obviously, .com. And we're on all streaming platforms, Bandcamp, that kind of thing, and YouTube. So you can pretty much just Google us, and whatever comes up that is not on YouPorn is us, pretty much.
Wait, that's still around? Oh man, I want to thank you so much, Nigel, for giving me the time to talk to you for a bit, and you
Hey man, I
know,
appreciate it. Likewise, yeah.
and for everybody listening, go check out CARSEX right now and get ready for their new releases coming soon. And remember that without music, life would be a mistake.